Hello guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to another podcast, and this is number 10. Yes, 10 weeks into, well, pretty much quarantine. I think the podcast is kind of the timeline for when Corona started and, well, not yet when it's finished, but anyway, into the actual podcast. It's going to be almost summing up a lot of the other ones and talking more about the game in general, and it's going to be based on why I play RuneScape. So why on earth I've spent hours of my life on this game, why on earth I spent a lot of hours this week getting 77 rune crafting, stuff like that. But yeah, lots of IRL stuff to talk about here too, and yeah, I'm going to enjoy talking about this one, I think. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Right, the first reason why I play RuneScape then is probably the most important reason of them all, and it is it's enjoyment, to be honest. There's so much stuff in RuneScape that is enjoyable to do, and so many different ways that it tests you as well. So yeah, the updates to the game and the diverse landscapes in the game, so much there to do, new things you can learn, and there's always endless opportunities to improve on things that you already know. And yeah, with new content coming constantly, so in Old School's case, pretty much every Thursday there's an update, and there's new content pretty much every month. There's always a reason to log back into the game. Like, there's not, you can never really complete RuneScape, I think, well, obviously unless you get every single drop, every single pet, all 46 of them, which is probably not going to happen in a short frame of time, but maybe somebody might get all pets eventually. But there's always a way you can better yourself in the game, whether that's doing something PVM better, so I don't know, like double prayer flicking Grada or something, or just doing like 3-tick skilling, doing something better. There's always, some different content to try out. And yeah, also with enjoyment, friends and community. So RuneScape, as you know, is a massively multiplayer online game, MMORPG, and I've made some great friends on the game too. Made a few back in the day too. Can't remember all of those, but maybe one day they'll connect back with me, or vice versa. And I've also played with friends in real life too. I enjoyed some endless different bits of content, like doing Dagon of Kings with my brother recently, lots of that, doing Blue Scrolls with my mate a couple of years ago. A lot of the time it is those sort of, those small kind of newbie things that you do that you remember quite a lot in the game. So, not always of the best standard, and there's a different way to play the game. I'm not the kind of guy who sort of is arrogant about anything I do in the game. Like, still not that good at PVM. I'm learning quite a lot, but I can get better, and I appreciate that. There's people out there who can PVM ridiculously, PK ridiculously, but of course they put the time, the effort, and the practice into it. And I think you should never ever criticise anyone for like the way they play the game. As we all start somewhere. We all have different ways that we enjoy ourselves on the game. Some people enjoy it being really efficient. Some just like to sit there and AFK for a bit and do something else, or just play the game with quite a lot of relaxation. Also rewards. The game is fantastic at this aspect. It really does make you feel good about things that you do. Although actually no, to be that the 77 rune crafting that I've just got, I feel very good now after doing that. That was not fun. And yeah, it sort of implements a system where you just feel sort of immense relief or joy or happiness whenever you achieve anything. So like a skilling grind, like the rune crafting one I've just done, a drop from a boss, or completing like a master quest. Like, I remember how happy I was when I completed some of those quests back in the day, like Desert Treasure, Monkey Bandits. And yeah, it's one of the main reasons that I continue to play the game, and I feel like in a way that kind of like respects aspects of life as well. Like, I'm going to get into that in a second. The fact you put the time and effort in on the game to do something, to learn something, to get a level, and you usually get a reward from it. So either getting a Slayer level to kill a new boss, for an example there, or just getting a level to unlock better content, or in general just feeling good about yourself. Yeah, the second aspect of the game I want to talk about is life lessons, and I think you might not believe this, but a lot of RuneScape actually does replicate real life in a way, or skilling anyway. So I've actually learned a surprisingly high amount about the real world, and some pretty cool lessons as well. So one example is like knowing who to trust. So with scamming and luring in the game from pretty much its release, it just sort of teaches you about you might come across people like that in the real world, not necessarily doing trading scams or making you buy something for 50 mil more, but just people who try to deceive you, and it teaches you that there are people out there who will try to do that. So it's about being careful with what you do and taking time to think about decisions that you make. I'm not an Iron Man, I have to say, on the game. I do play the normal one, but I may make an Iron Man one day, but not while my main's going well at the moment. But I think Iron Man mode does teach you sort of a few life lessons in terms of like self-sufficiency, about being organised, about getting stuff yourself, making things yourself, and organising your time, and in general how the game mode in general is very challenging because there's no kind of easy items to get. You'll have to work for almost every item, unless you obviously just camp Zora and get very good, and you pretty much get all your skills banked through that way. But yeah, I almost feel like in life sometimes you have to You have to rely on yourself, you have to be self-sufficient and organised, and Iron Man mode kind of makes you do that, especially through those like grinds. I mean, almost living on my own at university and playing Iron Man mode, not quite the same obviously, but I just do kind of apply some of the same theory to it, and I see a lot of RuneScape in the real world, in other words. An aspect that is particularly relevant now is escape. Obviously we play video games partly for a bit of diversion, so I can talk you through some media theory that I learned at A-levels here, but I'm not going to do that. So it's helped me through a lot of difficult times actually, RuneScape. One was in 2017, 3 years ago now. Goodness me, the time has gone quickly, where I didn't have a very good end to my academic year, and I didn't really know what to do over summer. I was a bit nervous for the next one, but I went back to the game after a while, played it for a bit. I didn't play it loads, to be honest. I didn't only play like a couple of hours a day, nowhere near as much as now. And it really helped me through that difficult time, and I really enjoyed the game. I was still in the early days of my account there, but it was amazing. And of course, right now with the coronavirus situation and the fact we pretty much can't go outside, well, you can go outside, but you're not supposed to. You should stay at home, save lives, they say, stay alert, or whatever it is now. But in that case, I've been spending a lot of time on the computer, and I decided to get back into the game. And goodness me, I've had the time of my life on it, to be honest. I've done loads of new content in the last 2 months or so. A lot of it's on the channel or is going to be coming in future videos. And I've set myself to stop kind of doing the same sort of stuff in the game like I was just a lot of Slayer and Clues for the last 2 years. There's nothing particularly wrong with that if you're enjoying it, but I thought, set myself a new challenge, use this time, use the hours that I've got to actually, put time into learning a boss, practicing this, practicing that, and that's what I've done. And escape. So being able to log in, actively progress every day, and the time just goes. That's the thing that I always find when you're playing RuneScape, unless you're doing a rune crafting grind, which I have been, the time just goes so quickly. You log in, it's 10 a.m. and I mean, my general schedule has been like log in at 10 o'clock ish. Go for a run, do some exercise about 1ish, then come back, play a bit more, and then maybe go for a walk at like 6 or 7, and then play the game pretty much until I fall asleep, which has been as late as 4 a.m. sometimes. Obviously not like playing it straight, having breaks in between. But that schedule's worked really well, and the 2 months that we've been in lockdown have not felt like 2 months at all. I'd like to see the hours on my account in that time. It'll be interesting to see, but none of them at all have been wasted, I can safely say. Final thing I want to talk about as to why I play the game is the spin-offs from it. So YouTube channel for starters. So this video I learned myself how to make videos, how to edit, and how to build a community on YouTube. Obviously at the moment it's not that big, but there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think I just really enjoy the process of making videos and helping people, to be honest, because I'm someone who watches a lot of guides, watches a lot of other channels too, and try to support them as well as I can. So liking videos, leaving positive comments, because I think anyone who does a channel, obviously there is the financial side of it, but I think they do it because they love the game and they love making videos, and it's something they want to wake up and do and log in every day. And it's just great for kind of relieving stress too, like kind of just editing a video maybe in the middle of the night, even just sort of putting it together and then watching it as well, and looking at the effort that's been put in on my account. And it's very relaxing too, isn't it, watching kind of other YouTube videos, watching progress videos. I've rewatched quite a few series over and over again, even though you kind of know what's happened, but you just like seeing those kind of RuneScape grinds that we all either love or we hate. Some people certainly like the skilling grinds more than others. Twitch and live streaming are a huge thing at the moment. I never did this seriously, but I love watching people play RuneScape on Twitch, because you see some extremely high quality gameplay. Thus you can learn quite a lot from how people play the game and how they approach it, and it's nice to see all the different approaches to the game, so the PVM focused accounts, the PvP focused accounts, and it goes back to what I was saying about how there's so much to do in the game. There's so many different ways that you can have fun in it. So if you're a fan of those long skilling grinds, or you just prefer the kind of all action of PVM and the amazement of getting all those drops, then there is something for you in RuneScape pretty much, and that's why I think a lot more people perhaps should play it or should give it a try. But I understand that at the start, as a new player, I think it would be quite intimidating, because there is so much that you can do, but just once you give it a few months, develop your account and follow some guides and get it to a position where you can play and progress in it regularly, then you're good to go, really. And same goes for like creating a new account, if I ever do that in the future. But those are my three kind of or four, I should say, main reasons why I do play RuneScape. So we've got enjoyment, life lessons, escape, and spin-offs as well. So if you want to let me know your reasons why you play the game. So do you just enjoy the game, or do you do it because you have a YouTube channel or Twitch, or do you do it because you want to learn more about the real world too? You can definitely learn a bit of that I learned quite a lot about mining in my 99 mining guide, unsurprisingly. So I used a bit of that knowledge in one of my exams. I think it was something about in geography about a rock, and I was able to know it from doing that 99 mining, which is a bit sad, but oh well, I enjoyed it. Okay, thank you very much for listening to this podcast. Should be back next week. I'm going to write a few more ideas down for future podcasts. Going to get into other issues, so might get into some more serious issues. So maybe talking about botting. Well, not too serious, but yeah, things like botting, real world trading, other issues within the game. What my opinion is on them. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed listening to these last 10 episodes. I've enjoyed talking to all of you and talking about the game that I love, and I'll continue to play it for however long this lockdown goes down for. An update on my situation. My year abroad to Australia is looking very unlikely, so it looks like I'll be playing RuneScape instead, but that's not a problem, is it? Anyway, thank you very much, guys, and I will catch you in the next video, which should be out on Wednesday.